right, welcome back, everybody, for the Saturday mid-morning stream here. Hopefully, everyone's having a wonderful weekend. And you guys spent some quality time with family, of course, and kind of just relaxing, right? Let me know if you're alive and well in the chat here. Today we're going to cover a bit of Bitcoin and how it's doing and where I think it's going to go here in the next couple of days, couple of weeks. We're going to go through a couple basic things that you guys can learn to do for yourselves, and I think it's pretty helpful to have an understanding like this, so you guys can really tread carefully through these markets. All right. What's up, Flap? What's up, Toe? I don't know who else is on the stream. It says there's 3 people, but maybe there's more. Paper Tiger, what's up? All right. I was told to do these streams earlier, but well, here we are. Anyways, what's going on, Sergi? How are you? All right, so where are we heading, right? What's the price action going to be like this week, next week, maybe the next month or two, right? All right, we're going to get to it. So Bitcoin kind of trending up to pretty close to this 382 or 1272 fib extension. If you plot from the previous cycle top to the previous cycle low, you can see we got to this 1618, right? And we made this double top up here. We came back down into the demand zone, got a nice rally off these lows, right? We made this double bottom down here off the weekly, and we clearly made this wedge formation, right? We broke out of the wedge. We got above the 200-week moving average. Everything is A-OK. We're doing great, right? The only thing that I'm concerned about right now here, guys, is the weekly RSI, the weekly stochastic RSI, and how it's pointing down here on the weekly chart. Okay, this is the sell zone, right, on the weekly chart. When we were down here in November and December, we were talking about buying, right? Because, well, look where the stochastics was. Stochastics were all the way down here, right? So this weekly stochastic topped out, end of February and here in April. Okay, so we could see that this is an area where, well, maybe we actually do come back down to retest some of the breakout areas, right? So it really, again, until we get a nice reset on the stochastic RSI, I think we are going to consolidate and or pull back. All right, and it would make a lot of sense for Bitcoin to come back down to retest, even as far as 24.5K, this region right here where it broke out from. Okay, and we can clearly see there's a trend line here that we could basically respect. This would be a channel up out of the wedge breakout, right? So this is the longer term outlook, right? The coming weeks, coming months, right? If you want to know what's going to happen within the next day or two, well, maybe you want to check out the daily. Right, and the daily, we can see we had this stochastic RSI up at the top, right? This was last week, right? We even got a sell up here, right at the top here, 30.5K. Okay, and it's still making some sense for maybe, obviously on the daily here we got a nice reset, right? So we could maybe the next day or two we could maybe get a retest of the 30K region, but we know the weekly chart is in the sell zone, right? We know, let's go to the 3-day chart. The 3-day chart is also still telling us we could see some more downside, right? And we're in the middle of this range here. You don't really want to be trading on the 3-day chart, based on the 3-day chart. So if you really want to be taking trades, maybe trade the daily, maybe trade a 4-hour. The 4-hour is also telling us, hey, we could see downside, right? 4-hour stochastic RSI pointing down here. Okay. All right. So yes, the RSI is in 31 on the RSI, but it is still topping out here on the 4-hour. Okay. So like I said, we did see the daily maybe get a reset. The 4-hour is telling us maybe we get a retest. Maybe we put another higher low in right here, and we try to rally back up, right? Because the daily stochastics are looking, look, they got a nice reset. So we could see a short-term move back up, right? Maybe we retest 29 or even up to 30K, make a lower high or something. And then we come back down and retest these lows again, right? This is a major support level right here, right now, this $27,000 region, all right? And so we want to really pay attention to what the stochastic RSI is telling us. It's really that simple, guys. We can look at the stochastic RSI and have an understanding whether we should be buying or selling the asset just based off that. Is it oversold or is it overbought? If it's somewhere in the middle, no trade, right? Oversold means you should be looking to scale back into longs. If it's oversold, you should be either selling the position or looking to scale into short trades. Really, that simple. It depends on what time scale you're trading, depends on how active you are in your trading as well. Okay. Any questions, comments, concerns? How I'm reading this? Let me know in the chat, guys. Nuke in May like we did the previous 2 years. I mean, well, what's the monthly chart looking like? We're looking at over the next couple weeks, right? So yeah, maybe we just look at the weekly chart. The weekly chart is we just kind of went through it, right? Stochastics topped out on the weekly, right? From this bottom stochastic to this top stochastic, this took about a month and a half, right? So we could be looking at about a month and a half for a reset, right? So that means maybe by like end of June, you know, we could be back here. We could be even further. It could be even all the way back here, 19K. Who knows? We could come all the way back down to the demand zone and just say this didn't even happen. You know, we're going to have to pay attention to the price action, right? But as long as we stay above the 200-week moving average, I think, you know, we can remain in this uptrend, right? Because the 200-week moving average is pretty critical for Bitcoin. Every single time it's above it, you can see we go on a nice move. We're not overbought on the weekly either, like we were back here in 2019, and where we had this overbought move and we had a 786 fib extension and then just dump, right? And we also didn't even tap or touch and test this Libra Fibonacci level here. So I think, here's what I think. Yes, we're overbought on the weekly stochastic RSI. Yes, we're in bullish territory here on the weekly RSI. We're not overbought though, right? Bitcoin can stay overbought for weeks, right? It stayed overbought for weeks here during this bull market, right? Understand that. Assets can stay overbought on the weekly chart for many, many weeks, many, many months before they correct, all right? So I think, this is what I think. I think we're going to get a retest of this 24 to 25K region. We're going to hold this uptrend and we're going to leg at least to go and test the Fibonacci level here at 32.6K, okay? I would say that that's a minimum target, and we'll see what we end up doing after that. I'm talking about maybe the next couple of weeks after we see this pullback. I think this week we're going to pull back for sure, all right? I mean, we're starting to go oversold on shorter time scales here. Like I said, we could see like a short-term reversal. Back on the daily, we got a stochastic RSI cross back up, okay? So we could see a retest of this breakdown, this 28 to, you know, 29.5K region, okay? See what happens there. If we actually get volume to push price back above those levels, then maybe we do just rally from here, right? Like the just because the stochastic RSI is saying, hey, we come down on the weekly chart, but we have the shorter time scales saying differently, right? We have the 4 hour. Well, the 4 hour is actually crossing down, right? Yeah, so the 4 hour is crossing down. And we could even see on the ADX that the bearish sentiment's still there, right? The bears are in control on the 4 hour chart, right? And in the daily chart, the bears just took control on the daily, right? So there you go. I mean, short-term move back up would make some sense to retest this breakdown. And we could even, you know, retest 30.5K and get rejected and then just come, like, make a double top and then just come down. Like, that's totally a possibility. We could do something like this where we do this and then we just come down, right? So something to pay attention to. Like, I'm obviously going to be watching this. We'll be watching with you guys. Obviously, we want to pay attention to the dollar and the stablecoin charts here. All right. We did come down to almost touch this this Fibonacci level here from the swing low of 2019 to the swing high that we made here in June of 22. But this is a rising wedge, right? So we're on a monthly chart. You know, we can see that the RSI is still in the bullish territory on 53. We have a monthly bearish cross. But, you know, also do note that the monthly stochastic RSI is almost bottomed out, which is not good. The 3-week is also already in the bottoming area here. So, yeah, these next couple of weeks could be bad. I mean, like, you can see the weekly RSI is you know, oversold, right? Oversold on weekly RSI. All right. And yeah, I mean, you could kind of argue that there maybe is some divergence forming here on the weekly chart, right? On the oscillator, around the RSI. All right. So yeah, Tether could come back up to retest this region right here. That would make a lot of sense, actually. Retest this 12, maybe 13% region, even up to 10. I don't know how high this might go, but you guys get the point that it's showing that divergence. We could see a movement back up here on Tether, and that could cause the price of crypto to drop a bit, right? So that's what we're looking at here. I think we're going to see some downside in the market, maybe the next month or two, and we'll see if we hold these uptrends, right? That's the key. If we can make a higher low than 20K on Bitcoin, then I think we're all good. You know, even if we just come down to test 23K, boom, we get a bounce off that, like this gentleman here, DGens Anonymous is talking about. That would be the bottom of this channel. That's unfortunately what I think we're looking at, unless something really magical happens right here where we just kind of pivot and reverse and make a higher high and, you know, do some. It would actually not be good if we did that, because we actually like to see Bitcoin pull back in these uptrends. There you go, 50%. A 50% dump would be what, like 14K? That would be crazy, though. I don't think we're going to see a 50% dump. I think a 20% drop is more on the cards. 20 to 30%. Right. Because this wedge pattern is definitely being regarded, right? We had a breakout, a back test, a rally. Now we're getting a pullback. I do think that this 24 to 25K region, maybe even wick down to 23, holds up, right? Because the monthly, if we zoom out to the monthly, we're going to get a monthly candle close next week. The monthly stochastic RSI is still trending up, right? We were in the buy zone down here in December. This is the time to get into your long-term swing trades, right? And last time was March of 2019, where we then topped out in August, and then we got that pullback. All right, so we're not even doing that yet. We're not even showing that yet. So the monthly chart is looking good, right? Monthly chart's looking good. The weekly chart and the bi-weekly chart, like I said, we could see some consolidation or some downside, and that's really it. I mean, it's really just that simple. You could be looking for, you know, short positions right now. Obviously, like, we're late to the party on the shorts, but you could just be looking maybe to hedge your positions if you want, you know, or if you're in major profits in some altcoins, maybe take some profits, right? No, you can't go broke taking profits, guys. Remember that. And the monthly does look very, very nice, right? We do have the hidden bullish divergence here, which is playing out, by the way, right? We're seeing the divergence play out. And the monthly RSI is sitting at 51, which is bullish on the monthly. Okay. Longer term outlook here looking very nice. 3-week chart, we can see the 3-week kind of starting to make a top here on the RSI, right? Buy straddles when low volume. There you go. So the 3 week you can also see is kind of starting to maybe make a top. Hasn't crossed down just yet. It could also stay overbought for quite some time, like it did back here in December of 2020. Just stayed overbought, right? All right. And volatility is still ticked up. So the 3 week chart still looks, in my opinion, still looks pretty good. All right. So the 3 week and the monthly still looking good for upside. And let's go to like the 3 month chart, the quarterly chart. Okay. Because we did just close a quarterly candle from January, and we have about 2 more months left on this quarter. I still think we're going to, sometime in this quarter, we're going to test 32K without a doubt. I mean, we should be testing that within the next month, I would say. All right. And that's Bitcoin. This stream is supposed to be strictly about Bitcoin. So if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, ideas, maybe something I missed, please throw them in the chat. I'd like to hear what your guys' thoughts are. If you guys think I'm using Fibonacci incorrectly, or if you guys want to know how I'm using the Fibonacci levels, please post that in the chat. I'd like to hear your guys' feedback. And 23K actually is confluent with a 3 month 21 EMA. All right. So the 23K level looks pretty good for a retest. Absolutely, DGens Anonymous. I've never seen you on the stream, brother. Where are you from? Are you from one of the other communities? Are you from, yeah, I don't know. How did you find us? DGen Protocol, excellent. Nice. Like I said, the daily and the daily chart looks like we could see maybe a pushback up from the stochastic RSI, getting across up here. Right? So we could see a couple, maybe a day or two of upside. We're getting a bounce right here off this 40 level. So rejecting bearish control zone on the daily. That's good. Below 20K? How about we take it each level at a time, okay? We can clearly see that we have a confluent area around that 23 to 24K region, all right? And 25.3K is the weekly 200-week moving average. There's lots of confluence between that 23 and 25K region right now. If we start breaking below 25K, we can talk about retesting 20K, okay? Let's not get ahead of ourselves, man. That's like one of the things you really shouldn't be doing as traders is don't get ahead of yourself. See what the chart's telling you. Have an idea of where the next real levels are to really have a realistic expectation of where the price might go, okay? Yeah, that 3-day bearish divergence is the real thing, right, on the RSI, right, with this high and the lower high on the RSI. But it's playing out, right? So it's playing out. We are in a medium term, I want to say a short term uptrend, right? So if we hold this trend line here on the RSI, that could be something, because even if we hold here around 54, that's still bullish on the daily RSI, on the 3-day RSI. Right? You guys with me? And this whole break here was a trend shift, right? Overbought, back test, higher high but lower high on the RSI, overbought. All right, so this was a momentum shifting structure here in January, the falling wedge breakout, right? Yeah, I think it does look okay. Even if we do consolidate and Bitcoin does nothing for like the next 2 weeks, it's fine, right? That's where I do think, and we're going to cover Bitcoin dominance here. If Bitcoin can consolidate up here and not really be too volatile, I think that's when the altcoins can actually start to come in, okay? And we might see somewhat of an alt season if that happens, right? Bitcoin dominance is at the top of its range right here on the 3-day. And although the 3-day stochastic RSI has already started its descent, let's go to the weekly. The weekly looks overbought on the stochastic RSI, right? So this could mean Bitcoin dominance comes off, all right? As long as Bitcoin against the dollar stays relatively stable, right? Between that 24, 25K region, even 27K, like in this range, okay, where it just kind of consolidates and not like violent dumps or sell-offs, then the other altcoins can actually start to outperform Bitcoin short term, okay? Maybe the next month. Like, let's take a look at ETH, for example. I know we were talking about, on this stream, we're talking about strictly Bitcoin. Actually, I'm going to leave it up to you guys. Do you guys want me to go into other altcoins here, or do you guys want me to continue focusing on Bitcoin and how we can continue to master what we see here on the Bitcoin chart? Let's take a vote. Norbert says all. Okay. Altcoins too, please. $2x and G'd it. Oh man, okay. So wants to look at Tether dominance. Okay. Bitcoin, all right. QQQ. All right. I was going to save the stock stuff for tonight's stream, but master Bitcoin. All right. I'm getting a mixed bag here. Let's see, one's in the chat for Bitcoin only, or two's in the chat for everything else other than Bitcoin. Ready, go. And make sure you guys share the stream, man. We only got 9 people on the stream this morning. I thought I was going to get a lot more people. All right, I mean, it looks like we got more 2s than 1s. All right, let's take a look at ETH. Now we're fibbing from the previous cycle top, okay? The 2018 top. We got a double bottom right off the 886 extension. Lots of room here, okay? I mean, we're in the middle of a range right now. I would say we're closer to 1,500 than we are 3,200, right? I mean, we're actually really close. It's literally smack dab in the middle of the range. What do you guys think? Flip a coin. Where are we going? Are we going to 3,250 or are we going back down to 1,400? Ready, go. 3250 Paper Tiger says. 1600. That wasn't one of them. Mixed bag here. All right, here's ETH BTC, okay? Last cycle, or the 2017 cycle, okay? Pretty clear range that it's trading in right now. Is Ethereum dominance going to go up or down from here? We're in the middle of the range, so it's a coin flip, right? Are we going to the top of the range? Or are we going to the bottom of the range? Well, if we've learned anything from this lesson, the weekly stochastic RSI is what, guys? The weekly stochastic RSI is what? The weekly stochastic RSI is looking good to outperform Bitcoin, right? Beautiful. So what I'm saying could actually play out. All right, we could see Ethereum and altcoins outperform Bitcoin while it pulls back. That is quite the candle we had last week. This week, not so much, right? We got a bit of a pullback to back test the median trend line here. Beautiful, beautiful retest there for ETH Bitcoin. I think this actually trends back up to the top of its range, okay? Based on what I'm seeing on the stochastic RSI there. All right. I don't think anyone's expecting it, so I think we're going to see it. Problem is, against the dollar, it's not looking too good yet. Like, this to me doesn't look good for against dollar pairings, but yeah. I mean, it hasn't really told us to buy yet, though, right? It's not above 20. And like, if this starts triggering above 20, guys, that's when you probably want to get out of everything. Right? We're probably going to get some sort of crash if that happens. Not financial advice, of course. We'll see how this plays out. Looks like it's wedging, right? A bit on the weekly there. Could come back up to test that 12.34% region. Could do that. Or it could just get nasty rejection here at 10.35 and just dump it. Right? Because the macro is still a massive rising wedge structure. What do you guys think? We're at the top of a range, though, on the weekly here. Got a nasty candle right now. Let's see going into the close what happens. Let's see if we get some buyers coming in to push the market up going into the close. Like we've now back tested this region here. We're holding above the daily 200 moving average here on the total 2 chart. Starting to get buy signals here on the 12-hour. Right, the stochastic RSI is all the way at the bottom here on the 12-hour. So we could be looking at, like I said before, maybe a next day or two type of move back up. It looks like this is some sort of parabola looking structure. Do you guys see what I'm seeing? Right? We got 1, 2, you got a third touch here. You're still holding the structure. Interesting. Let's see if this structure kind of plays out and holds up. All right, this is the total 2 charts. If you guys have particular coins you guys want me to look at, I will reserve the rest of this stream for your guys's tokens that you guys want to look at. Dent coin. All right. Shit coin time. Unfi. Sure. We'll take a look at it. This is not all the info on that, is it? Here you go. What's going on, Crypto Clan? What's going on, Gypsy? All right, so on log scale on the 12-day, I'm using a 12-day because it looks like this is going to give me most of the data we want to be looking at here. You're just butting up against this resistance area here, getting rejected for now. But pay attention to this range, okay? Right, you have a clearly defined range here on Dent. And you could come back down to retest this, 840 region. And you probably still have like a valid inverse head and shoulders type of structure. All right. Right, so you could see this, this maybe pull back and hold this level and then kind of get out of here. All right, banana, does that make sense? That's what I'm seeing. I mean, I'm sure other people might see other things. Yeah, and we got rejected right at the 50% retracement level. We're in between two Fibonacci's here. So a retest of this median trend line here would definitely not be out of the cards. And you can see the 3-day RSI pointing down, the stochastic RSI pointing down. I rest my case. I think a retest of this region here more than likely to happen, especially if Bitcoin is pulling back. Okay. Audio, Unfi, and Near. I guess I was expecting a bigger dump there. So rejected right at the 618. No shockers there. You got support right around this 26 region. And you're trading in this range right here. Like it's pretty clearly defined between the 618 and this bottom that was made, okay? And I think that 26 cent region might be tested. Maybe use a trend line tool here as well. Kind of give yourself a gauge. If you start breaking this channel, it could get a little bit ugly. All right, but you're holding the channel right now. I mean, this could actually be holding here as well. We'll see. Now you don't want to sell until you confirm a breakdown of the channel, right? But I would say that if it does break the channel, you are going to be probably going to test the 26 cent level here. And if you break that, you're looking at 22 cents. That's it. This was a big harmonic structure on the weekly. Oh, that is a nasty rejection though, right? Got to 52 cents. Wow. Yeah, that's it, man. I mean, you want to hold in this channel here. You want to not break down further. Although this is a nasty candle, man. Very nasty rejection there. Look at that. Look at that wick, man. That's not good. All right, we'll see how this one plays out, man. But yeah, it's not looking too hot. Scam wick up to 52. Eesh. All right, Unfi. This one had a nasty also fake breakout the other day. 6.74. I don't even know if this is parallel channel stuff. This is more like there's not enough data, but this might be some sort of pennant. You got a lot of empty space here, but we got 2 touch points on these wicks. I guess maybe it's more like a descending triangle. And with that rejection earlier this week, we could see this thing come back down to $4. You know, I don't know. 45 right now, that's the level. All right. Weekly not looking too hot either, right? Stochastic RSI pointing down. On HA candles, it looks a bit more promising. You got to cross up, but again, you're in the middle of the zone, so like no trade zone probably. The 3-day chart pointing down, 2-day also pointing down, daily pointing back up. So we could see, you know, something maybe happen this week if this level holds. If you make these higher lows, and you might attempt another rally, we'll see. All right. Near protocol. Yeah, I'd say that's probably about right for a channel. I mean, you want to short channels until you break out of them. So that's what's happening right here. You got close to a channel break, and then you had, you know, you had this going on. This was broken. Right, this little wedge break. Yeah, I mean, if you can clear back above 287, you know, you could get back up to like $5 probably on this asset, but you're sitting at a major level right now, I would say 188. Four hours stochastics pointing back down here. Yeah, I mean, not looking too hot for near right now. You might retest this, you know, this 180 range right here, and even back down to 172. right? You got like a bit of an M shape going on here. You know, you might be looking at something like that. Maybe if you break through all that. Need 2.106. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know if we're going to get upside just yet. If we can see a bounce maybe off support. This would probably be the area to, you know, maybe start looking at dollar cost averaging into a position. Right? But, you know, your stochastic. I would wait for the stochastics to tell you. You know, we still have lots of room to run down here. Another oscillation down looks like here on near. Right? The 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour all pointing down. Daily is already down here, right? So you might be pretty close to an oscillation, but the daily takes like what, 24 hours, right? So you can be looking at like one more move down and then hit a support and then trend back up, right? So we could be looking at, you know, a test of 182 or 178 first before getting the oscillation back up. Does that make sense, Gypsy? And the monthly clearly rejecting the 618. So, but this monthly candle is still active in terms of a bullish engulfing candle. I would say until you really, you know, close below 125, that this is still active. So, you know, you could be looking at testing 173, that area right there. That's like the midway through that candle on the monthly. But yeah, this is not looking like a good monthly candle, right? Not looking good for that. Sure not. Okay. All right, you guys have any others? Got about 10 minutes here. What else you guys got? Sorry about that. I clicked out of the screen. You guys have anything else you guys want to look at before the stream for today? We looked at BTC and ETH. We can look at YFI. So a clear range, right? From the 618 to basically about the 38.2% region. So between 4 and 17,000, I know a big range. Let's see what this is looking like right now. I mean, this looked like some sort of like harmonic structure, but we did have a clear break of trend line here on YFI. And now we're kind of just consolidating in this range. I would say, like, if we do hold up here and we don't break down here on YFI, that we could see a retest, 11,000 or something, and maybe even get to the supply zone at 14K or near that 618. All right, I would say that that's likely to happen if this support holds, because it's still making higher lows, right? Even though we had this low here, we made a double bottom, it got a run to the top of the range, pulled back, still making a higher low. Still holding these lows. All right. We haven't made a higher high, though. That's the thing, right? So you have a lower high here. So it's going to, again, kind of depend on what you do around this range here. Two-day still pointing down on Stokes. Daily starting to cross back up. So you could be, maybe finding some local support here right around this line, this trend line, right? This $8,300 level looks like a pretty big level, right? This was used as a as a bounce before the major run. This was used also as a breakout area here and used again as another support. As long as you're above 82.50, I think you're good. So just hope for the best on that one, man. I mean, it looks okay as long as you hold that level. Arbitrum. There's not a lot of data on this one, man, but I can best. Coming back into this range block here. I'd look for a 786 or an 886 retracement if we get it. You know, you can start maybe at the 618 around that 133 region, which we're almost there. But yeah, I mean, I would really look to get that deeper retracement. That'd be good, right? These would be good entries down here. What's going on, Integrity? Now I haven't looked at Mask. We can look at it. Mask hit a 618 fib extension rotation. It's fine. It's probably going to continue pulling back. We can take a look at it. I'm just going to look at an index chart, man. Sorry, because like MEXC Global may not have all the data. So from the swing high to the swing low, I know we've done about a 618. Beautiful 618. Got the 618 retracement. You might be looking at $3.20 region right around this fib level here if these supports don't hold, right? You got a support here. You got a support here, which may be confluent with the daily 200-day moving average. But you typically, when you get these dumps, you overshoot it a bit, right? So yeah, pay attention to that. That could be something to pay attention to. And you can draw a trend line from here, kind of get an idea of how far down you might retrace after the 618. You could get a pullback all the way back down to $3. I mean, wouldn't shock me, right? This coin went on quite a run. Right, you had this wedge breakdown here, and you did a 61.8% retracement. And yeah, I mean, let's see if you hold the lows. If you continue making higher lows, and you can make higher highs, right? Higher highs, higher lows. That's a trend shift. You're becoming, going into the buy zone here on the daily, but you started triggering these TTM squeeze shorts. So just pay attention to that. Your weekly, your weekly looks like this is kind of exhausted, right? Yeah, your weekly momentum stochastic looks like you're coming down, right? Like the time to buy this was in June of 22 and in October of 2022, which was literally right at the bottom, man. Using the stochastic RSI as your friend, guys, okay? I would say Mask coin can really see a big pullback, right? Take a look where on your weekly RSI you're at. If you start breaking that trend line, man, you can see lots more downside on it, okay? INJ, yeah, it's a good one. Let's take a look at that one. INJ going overbought on the weekly chart. The good thing about INJ is that it doesn't have too much price history. So let's see, actually. I'm going to get it from this wick low. We're going to go from wick to wick. So we got rejected right at the 786 Fibonacci level. We could see INJ come back down to $4 maybe if it takes out this weekly candle. But if it doesn't and it holds here, which I think it will, 560s, that's a level. It is severely overbought on the weekly chart. right? Stochastics topped out. This thing went on quite a run. I mean, it hasn't curled over just yet, but yeah, it's monthly stochastics still look pretty good. And your monthly volatility coming in. Monthly looks great on INJ, man. I'll be honest. Okay, it's still in this major squeeze. You could see a couple weeks of pullback, man. Like this thing just went from, you know, $1.60 to $10 in like fucking what, 2 months? What do you want from the thing? The thing's produced some stupid gains for us. $4 or $5 wouldn't shock me at all for this asset. If we go to like the 3-month chart, you can clearly see that, you know, we're getting rejected right here at the 786 fib extension. 6-month chart looking really good, really strong. Right, you had that doji candle reversal here at the bottom, you know, over the last period of 6 months. And as long as you stay above $4, I think that this asset can really get back above the $8 region and really just propel itself to new all-time highs. I mean, like this type of chart here to me, like look at the yearly chart. Okay, it's almost bullish engulfing last year's candle, right? We could be looking at lots of upside on this asset in the future if it continues to perform this way. Very, very strong asset. The 2-week not looking so hot, right? This looks like maybe a reversal candle right now. But yeah, I mean, like again, what do you really want from an asset that's overbought on the weekly chart? You know, it's pulled back on the RSI now, so that's good. We're seeing that pullback. That's great. Okay. So yeah, I'm looking at you know, 650 ranges here. You're still holding the parabolic uptrend on this asset. Okay, you can clearly see that it's in a parabola structure, right? It's holding this right now. And until you break it, I would say this is still valid, right? And this is a beautiful double bottom down here. This is where we got in, right? Like how beautiful textbook is this stuff right here, guys? Come on. Right, the bottom and the higher low double bottom. Beautiful. And there's not a lot of trading volume up here, right? So we could easily see this thing break its previous all-time high, no problem. This has been on quite a run during this bear market. All right. Imagine this coin in a bull run. That's what I'm trying to say. I think it's very possible that this asset, you know, it went from 39 cents. Oh, wait a minute. I got the wrong tool here. Let's try to project. I'm going to give you guys try to project where I think this asset might go in the next cycle. 40 cents to, we're going to do candle bodies, okay, to about $20. So that's 5,000%. So that's what, a 50x? So 50x, okay? So let's just say it does 50x from its bottom, which was $1.22, 5,000% move. So yeah, that's like about $60, give or take. Same move. If we do the same move for INJ, long term. And 16% APY. Come on, man. I mean, what do you want? That's amazing. Cool. INJ looking promising. All right. Long term. XRP. Eesh. Tried to get above the 200-week moving average and failed. I mean, obviously with Bitcoin pulling back, kind of tough to do that, right? Let's delete some of this stuff and like redraw this. So let's go to the yearly chart. Let's go to a monthly, I guess. We'll take a look at total 3 in a second. Just kind of drawing some pretty important levels here for you guys on XRP. And depending on how you want to see this or draw this, really the top here and the bottom side of the range here. Monthly stochastics still look great. Like it still look poised, very, very poised for upside here in the coming months. You can also see that the volume or the momentum oscillator is crossing up on the monthly. We haven't done that since May of 2019. And the previous time before that was February 2016 before a big bull run for XRP. All right, but the only thing here that's kind of concerning is that the volatility is not ticking up just yet. All right, so we want to see volatility tick up if we're looking to see a big move come in. You know, the 2-week chart started to tick up on volatility. Okay, it started to. We got a trigger. All right, but we'll see how that goes. I still think XRP looks good, man. I mean, you based out here, you're still above the 2, or you're still, you know, teetering with the 200-week moving average. Yeah, I mean, you could see a pullback. You're right at the supply zone here. Why not pull back to like, what is that? You know, 39 cents or something. Sure. That would still be, you know, an area where you're making a high, you're still making a higher low, right? You're still making a higher low than 35. It's fine. It's fine. You know, you could consolidate here and no problem. Okay. Like I said, the daily stochastic and the 4-hour or the daily stochastic RSI and the 12-hour stochastic RSI on Bitcoin are trending back up on the daily chart. We could see a short-term move back up to about that 29 to 30K region potentially. If we break the range even better, that means we're making a higher high on price and we can trend back up. Okay. But if we reject it, because the weekly stochastic RSI is pointing down right now, we could see a couple weeks of downside potentially. So just something to pay attention to. We could stay overbought in that overbought region for quite some time. We could, right? The monthly still looks good. The 3-week still looks good. So we have the monthly and the 3-week kind of telling us, well, we could see more upside. Okay. The shorter term time scales are telling us we could see downside. All right. So I'm sorry if this is a confusing stream for you guys, but it all depends on what time scale you guys are trading on. Stay consistent with the time frames. Stay consistent with how you're managing your trades as well, because that'll be very helpful for you in the future. All right, I think I've exhausted my time here. I'll see you guys tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern time, where we will be announcing our winner, which they will win a 1 month of free alert service. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that if you guys did participate in the Twitter Bitcoin candle close tweet. All right, thank you guys so much. We'll catch you guys tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern. You guys have a great rest of your day.